Determination of integrating factors. Solve the differential equation y times y plus 2x minus 2 times dx minus 2 times x plus y times dy equals 0. So our m here, which is the coefficient of dx, y times y plus 2x minus 2. Then we solve for the partial derivative of m with respect to y. Is the derivative of y, which is 1, times this plus y times the derivative of this, which is 1. Simplifying, we have 2y, that's y plus y is 2y plus 2x minus 2. Next is the n, or the coefficient of dy, that's negative 2 times x plus y. Then we get its partial derivative with respect to x. That should be 2 times derivative of this, which is just 1. That's derivative of x with respect to x is 1. Derivative of y with respect to x is 0. So we have negative 2 for the partial derivative of n with respect to x. And then we solve for the partial derivative of m with respect to y minus the partial derivative of n with respect to x. So the partial derivative of m with respect to y is this one, and then minus the partial derivative of n with respect to x, which is this. Then simplify, we have 2x, 2x plus 2y, and then negative 2 minus minus is plus, so negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So our partial derivative of m with respect to y minus partial derivative of n with respect to x is 2 times x plus y. So looking at the original equation, we can see that n here is similar to this one, only we have a negative sign. That means we are going to divide this by n, and we have 1 over n times partial of m with respect to y minus partial of n with respect to x is 2 times x plus y divided by, that's 2 times x plus y divided by n, which is negative 2 times x plus y. And that is equal to, we cancel out x plus y, 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. So we can now find the integrating factor, or determine the integrating factor. That is, integrating factor u is equal to the integral of negative 1 times dx, or negative dx, which is u equals to e to the negative x. Then we multiply this to the original equation, and then we have e to the negative x times the original equation, y times y, that's y squared, times e to the x, so we have y squared e to the x times dx, so we have y squared e to the x dx. Then we multiply 2x times e to the x times dx, so we have 2x y e to the x dx. Then next is negative 2 times y times e to the x times dx. So we have 2 minus 2y e to the negative x dx. Then we multiply negative 2 times x, so negative 2x times e to the x, so negative 2x e to the x times dy, negative 2x e to the negative x dy. And then the last term would be minus 2 times y times e to the x times dy is minus 2y e to the negative x dy equals 0. So now we are going to group the terms. Like for example, we can group these two, because as you can see, derivative of y squared is actually 2y dy. And then, so this is this, and this is this one. And then we have three more terms. This one, and this one. So we group the first two terms, and then for the last three terms, we just factor out 2. Now looking at the first two terms, this one is actually equal to this, while this is equal to this one. So let us check the derivative of negative y squared times e to the negative x. First, we get the derivative of minus y squared, and that's negative 2y dy times e to the x, which is this one. Then we get the derivative of e to the x, which is negative e to the negative x dx times negative y squared is this one. And then simplifying that, we have minus 2y e to the negative x dy is this one. And y square e to the negative x is this one. And the last three terms is the same as 2 times the derivative of negative x times y times e to the negative x. So if we want to check this one also, the derivative of negative x is negative dx multiplied by y e to the negative x, this one. The derivative of y is dy multiplied by negative x and e to the negative x. Or the derivative of e to the negative x is negative e to the negative x dx multiplied by this negative xy. And then simplify this one, negative y e to the negative x dx is the same as this one. Then negative x e to the negative x dy is this one. And lastly, xy e to the negative x dx is this one. Now we get the integral of the derivative of minus y square e to the minus x is y square, negative y square e to the minus x. And the integral of the derivative of minus xy e to the x is xy e to the x times negative 2. So if you want to simplify this one, we'll just multiply the whole equation by negative e to the x. That will cancel the e to the x here and the e to the x here, and the negative sign will become plus. So we will have y square plus 2xy equals c times negative 1 times c is just c. So we have c e to the x. Then we factor out y, and we have y times y plus 2x equals c e to the x, or y equals 2x plus y equals c e to the x.